Shall we?
Yep. So I don't know what you have planned, but I guess if Charles ends up showing up, then we can incorporate him.
Yeah, so I think when Charles shows up, he will go next, but I can start.
Okay. Yep.
All right. Like your smile, Prof, by the way.
I greet you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, I think more people are beginning to join. So, yeah, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the mock teaching for this particular workshop. So today, depending on how things go, we might have one or two persons presenting. One of them happens to be myself, and the other, I will introduce you if that person joins. So, without wasting much time, so I'm going to do a presentation about one of my courses, which, by the way, I'm still building, but I thought we can do backward engineering, which happens to work most of the times this time. All right, so I will share my screen. So basically, I have around 10 minutes or 15, including all questions and discussion, and so will the next person as well. All right, let's see. Share my screen. And there you are. Let me know if you can see it.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. Yeah. Good day, everyone. My name is Frederick, and I will be taking you through the course called Basic Computer Science or Basics of Computer Science. And in going through the course, you will understand what it's all about and what you should expect. Just before we go a little bit deep dive into that, I will ask Janisha to later on create breakout rooms. So I have made 2 case studies here. Basically, it's more or less the same, but I will have 2 separate groups where one group will deal with the first case study and the other will deal with that. You have 2 minutes to, think through what is being written down for your own case study. I think when Janisha does the breakup, if you see group 1, then you know you're dealing with case study 1. Most important, I think you should focus on these questions for each case study. So what is common in the approach? If your case study is for John, then you answer the question based on that. And also, what do you see as possible common problems in the approach that they use? And what do you think could have been done in both situations to prevent whatever problems you identified or to make it better? So, Janisha, if you're ready, I think you can do the breakup.
Can we have a little bit more time to read to
Okay,
the case studies?
we can take 1 minute or so. That's enough.
Or are they going to be in our rooms if we break out?
Janisha, how does that work?
Maybe we should just take some time to
Yeah, you could take 1 minute to read.
Okay.
Yep.
So by the way, the numbers here, the N is the Naira note. That's more for the Nigerian currency.
John buys not. The cheapest.
Okay, so I'm going to, there's more people coming in. I'm going to separate into 2 rooms. Okay. So please join the rooms. If you have not joined the breakout room, please join the breakout room to work on the case study. We are currently, for the newcomers, we're currently in a session where we're doing breakout rooms to do case study. Please join the case study and participate if you can.
But the cheapest is the Renault.
Exactly.
And then for, right? Yes, and then for the study 2, Mary is checking out
So, are we all back?
Yep.
Yes.
Okie doke. So what I'm gonna do is I will pick one person from group one, the room one can, tell us in a minute or so what was the discussion all about with respect to the three questions. So someone from group one or room one. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I think one of the major issues that we dealt with was issue of quality. We understand that the person was a John had a certain budget and they're working within their budget. But our concern was, how long will this last? What's the quality of this product, and will it serve over the long run, regardless of how much money the person has.
Okay. And what possible ways you thought you could have maybe prevent these possible problems?
Product research. Product research would be the
Okay.
best way to approach that.
Okay. And group two, what are your thoughts? Come on, anyone from group two?
Yes, I volunteer, Mr. Ibrahim Hakim. Okay,
So
yes.
So in the group, we discussed since it appears that the cost or the price of the laptop or the price of the item the two of them purchased was the determining factor for making the decision. Although that's within their budget, however, we feel if they had more information about the items, perhaps it could have informed or changed the decision to go for other particular product or brand. So we reckon that the price alone might not be sufficient to make a well-informed decision.
Yeah. All right. So I think basically, if we all listen to what group one and two says, doesn't matter whether it's the laptop or the car, and what we notice is that the decision was based on one thing only, and that's budget. But also we see that the quality problems or problems that may come there, quality-wise, we didn't ask about the spec, and both groups also suggested do more research. If we had more information, maybe we would make better decisions, or you need time to make a better decision. So the question is, how does this case studies, relate to what we're going to do with basics of computer science? And that goes to my next slides. So which means at the end of this whole course, of course, you'll be able to learn definition of computer science, but most importantly, you will have a lot of information about what are the areas, the branches, the application of computer science, including job opportunities. Because a lot of you will be joining the department, taking one course or a certification, or maybe you want to continue, but you don't have a clue what is next for me, how do I go? So if I take this, what happens? And there you will want to consider what are my next steps. So you would also be exposed to certain courses, program structure, and an example of what you can expect within the Molukongo or the department. And that will help you make an informed decision. So what we just did as case studies simply opened our eyes to the fact that limited information can, cause decision making, which leads to problems sometimes, or not taking the right path. So in that sense, the whole idea of this course is to open your eyes to see what exactly do we have in computer science, and what are the things you can look forward to. And based on that, the first steps are, what is a computer? I think because of the time, I would just simply say It's any device or a bunch of devices that you can give an instruction to do some operations. Call it arithmetic, call it logic, call it whatever you need it to do. So you have to give it instructions, which we call computer programming. So programming a computer means you give it an instruction to do something. But the computer itself, it's a device that just waits for you to tell it what to do. And there are different parts of it here, which I will not go in detail, but we will do that in the modules to come. Of course, science itself, it's the application of a knowledge you know or you have. So knowing something is good. How you apply it is what really counts. And therefore, you can say computer science is simply how we apply the knowledge of computer. You know, its functions, its algorithm, hardware, software, everything that you will learn. So to be able to do that, you need to understand what are the complete area of computer science. And basically, this is a summary, not everything, but a good summary of what you should expect. So first, you need to know what are the functions and evolution of computer, the role in computer today, what is hardware, software, analog and digital. And in other modules, you will learn about operating systems, which many of you know as Windows today, Windows 10. Some of you know the programming language like Python or C or database programming or many things. Some of you know the internet. There's software, there's data science, there's algorithm, there's mobile, there's the computing part of it, there's information system, there's embedded, and there's the graphics, there's the image processing, there's the business analytical, statistics, mathematics, name all of them. So what we're going to do in this course is briefly look into the importance of each of these aspects in such a way that when we can also open your eyes to what job areas they fit into. And then based on that, we will also show you what our certification programs or guide is like. And you can decide for yourself what is best for you, because you might just want to start a business tomorrow. You might just want to add a certification for something you want in 2 weeks. You might want to do a long-term program, but this helps you to see the whole picture and then make a decision. And the next couple of slides just shows you what the structure is. This you cannot.
Fred, we don't see your, Dr. Ezeh, we don't see your slides.
Oh, are you not seeing the slide for how long now?
Since you started talking.
Oh my God. Sorry,
You need
guys.
to share your screen.
I didn't realize it was disabled. I'm really sorry about that.
Okay, we see it now.
Yeah. So these are the things I just explained, that we do the definition, we talk about the different areas and the next steps you need to take. And these are all the definitions I just gave about computer science and then computer science in itself, and an example of what it looks like. A lot of you are familiar with all this, the keyboard, the system unit, and the monitor. But the main focus, one major focus is that you're going to be introduced briefly in all these areas of computer science. And each module will treat a number of them. The idea is that you get some basic background about them, because each of them has their own course. And you should be able to make informed decision how and where you want to go. So if you start with a certification today or a course today and you want to do more, this will open your eyes a little bit more what is more interesting for you. If you think I'm targeting a database job, this can also help you to look at which courses I'm going to do and which part I'm going to take. And this is what it looks like in our Molokongo, where you go from doing one course in a department or any other department to a certification, or to an advanced certification, to an associate certification. And you can go all the way to your bachelor's, master's, industrial PhD, and research PhD. This information you can find on the link I will send to you, and you can always look at it. And this is also a summary of what you should be expecting when you need to make a decision, which path you want to go to. And here's simply an example of some certification like Frontier Application of Computers Science, and you can see a number of courses there, and also web and software design, and also one example of the advanced certification. And the point in this is when you look at the case studies, one thing we found out is that if you miss information, it's really difficult to make an informed decision in the right direction. And that's what this whole course is all about. Thank you. Questions?
I
Okay.
guess one question that I would have is, can people choose, like, for example, which certificate and which course they want right away, or is there a structure to it? So do we have to start from the basic one and then, you know, all of the other ones? For example, someone that is just interested in web design, would it
Okay.
have to do the other?
You can see my screen, right? So let me take web design, for example, right?
Oh, can you put back up your screen?
Okay. Yeah, still learning Zoom itself. Can you see that now?
Yep.
So if you look at, for example, web and software design, now basically you can choose a course without doing a certification. So you can choose any of this course here, right? But if you do the certification, for example, and you want to progress, now you can do, for example, advanced certificate 1, which is in computer science and application. And there you see it's also containing the certification 2, which means someone who has done this certification has done web design, database, computer programming, and you see that they're already here. So that person can choose other courses to complete this certification without redoing everything. And he doesn't lose time, he doesn't wait, he can just choose whatever he wants to continue. This is the same way we formulated the order certification. So they buy into the order. And that's why I'm not sure why this is. If you look at this, so basically, if you do software design, you can simply take another program, which is in an advanced, and you can still do a more set of programs to go to the associate. So the idea is that by the time you get to the mastery, level 1 mastery, you would have done all the programs in this certification. So it's a continuous flow depending on where you start. And you don't need to go back to do something else simply because you want to go from a certificate program to a level 1. You can just continue. Okay. Any more questions? All right. I think I will look at what, let's see. There you go. So are there more questions? If not, I don't know if you guys understand in general what the course is all about. Or maybe we do it a little bit different, you know, instead of being more democratic. Let's see. Dr. Mudro, can you tell me what you've just really understood from what I've said?
Okay, now that I unmuted myself, I thought that you said that you can start off at a basic level and then continuously move through the computer science discipline, increasingly getting more certificates along the way so that you become more educated and more advanced. But if you have a little bit of computer knowledge, you can start off at a higher level and pick and choose the course. So you don't technically have to commit to doing your certificate just to do a course.
Correct. So that's true. And if you also notice, let's see, I will just pick any name from the list. Can you hear me, Helen? Helen Onyeka.
Yeah, I can hear you.
When I showed the list of areas of computer science. What kind of picture does that? I mean, what does it tell you? What did you understand when I showed that and I talked about it?
Sorry, what do you mean by picture of computer science?
There was where I showed each module. I showed those all the courses that falls under each module, and remember, I mapped it to the case study we did.
Yeah.
What do you understand when you see that whole list of things? What's the summary of it?
Not so sure, but I guess there's a various different types of routes you could take depending on your interest or what you want to do.
Yeah.
But computer science is not my forte, to be honest. But it's quite interesting hearing you talk and knowing that there are different ways you can routes you can take depending on your interest.
Indeed. So that's good because we haven't gone into any of this. But the point is, you've just seen with your eyes in a minute, but I expect you to forget in less than 1 minute what you've seen. But the whole idea is that you just saw the first time an overview of what you could possibly expect in computer science.
Yeah.
And the details of them comes later in those modules where people can understand better what they are and can make informed decision. So yes.
Sorry, okay. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah.
No, I have a question. Can I ask you? So if I was to sign up to do your computer science, so I could take any of the routes, is that what you're saying? Or is it just the basic computer science I'll be signing up for?
So the basic of computer science, it's a compulsory course for anyone starting from a certification to any program. So if you're choosing one course, you don't need to do the course. But the moment you choose to do a certification or an certification or an F1 mastery, that's going to be one of the courses you should do, because that basically tells you, hey, it's like your computer science is like the car you want to buy.
Yeah.
So what kind of car do you want to buy? What do you want to graduate with? What do you want at the end by coming to my department?
A Porsche.
Indeed. So I'm just going to tell you, these are all the things that are available here. This is why a Toyota car is better. This is why database is better compared to software programming when you need to go in that area. This is why learning embedded system is way better if compared to doing HTML if you want to do some processing. So these are the things that it will open your eyes to. So in the end, if you say, I want to become a data analyst, then you should have in mind which courses that graduate you to become one, because that's what you want to do.
Okay.
And one thing is that people just do courses, but they don't know which combination of courses kind of best where they're gonna go.
Yeah.
So that's the whole idea.
All right. Thank you. Thanks.
All right. I don't know if Charles is in the house. I don't think he's in the house.
No, he's not here.
All right. So then I have the whole hour for myself. I feel so important now. So guys, this is your opportunity to eat me raw with any question or anything.
Yeah, I have a question. Have you uploaded your course on the site?
Actually not, because that's why I said at the beginning, I was actually doing backward engineering, which is something I'm so used to. So, there's this proverb that says if you want to eat an elephant, you cut it bit by bit, right?
Okay.
So I haven't fully prepared the course. It's gonna take me a whole lot of time to do that with all the things I do. So what I just did was improvise. There's so many things in my head, and what I did is just put down the summary part of what is going to be achieved in a PowerPoint. Now I'm going to walk backwards with those points to build the main course, which I actually started doing. So to answer your question, I haven't fully completed it yet, but I'm hoping that somewhere before the end of this month or early next month, it will be there.
Do you think there'll be opportunity for us to see you again, demonstrate what you've done?
I will just put my phone number here, and you can just tell me you want to see me again, and I will show up.
All right then. Thanks. I think I like that.
I mean, if it makes
Thank
it
you.
easy, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, cool. Thanks.
Otherwise, you can ask Prof to just drag me in. The moment he says coming, I don't have a way. I don't have to say anymore.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Fred, just a question: are you so you're still building and adding these courses, right? And will that change the overall structure of your platform?
No, it will not, because basically I do a kind of framework. So the framework is the same. What you can expect to change is probably, so in module 1, maybe I listed 10 topics, but maybe I move 1 or 2 or just reshuffle. But then
Right.
I will not take it out. I mean, also those areas, I'm not the expert in them, but
Right.
there are basic knowledge I can, talk about. But the whole idea of the course also is that students should be able to research these areas so that they are well informed themselves, and I can guide them how to think about it, and how to
Right.
separate each from the other. And that, I mean, this is basically how things work in the world. Nobody has the whole knowledge, but there are you have some fundamentals to guide people in certain areas to think a little bit better than you. And I think we talked about how we teach back home and how we want to do it differently. So we're not going to do it in a way where we tell the student, this is what you do, go study it. If you don't do it the way I said it, that's it, you fail my course. No.
Right.
Yeah, so they're going to research, and they're also going to help me learn a lot in that sense. And that's the point.
Hani had a question. Do you have any preliminary initiation course for very basic beginners in computer science? For example, someone who does not know anything about computer science, but who is interested in learning about computer science. I think this is the course that he was showing. So this would be the foundational course, correct?
Yeah. So this would be the first foundational course where it's like saying, well, there are 20 types of cars, and I give you the names of the car and I show you a picture of them. Doesn't mean you know anything about each of those cars. But then there are also courses which I have on my name I'm hoping to do. For example, for someone who says, well, I want to learn a bit more about Microsoft Excel and the programming part, there's also going to be a course there, because this is all part of computer science. And if you say, I want to learn database, yeah, then there's someone who's also teaching database management at that introductory level, and then we can also look at, if people are wanting to go more advanced, if we have such option, then we can offer it. Otherwise, we can look to make that available, or even ask the student in a way that how can they help in that, such that we can make that available. But this is the basic course, because it's important that you do a survey of what you can expect, before you start doing deep dive. And this is what generally tells you what you can expect. For example, some people are confused whether telecommunication is computer science or engineering. And there's a thin line between that. Internet of Things is telecommunication, but Internet of Things is also computer networks. It depends on how you choose to apply it. But if you basically understand what Internet of Things is on computer networks, that decision becomes a lot easier depending on where you want to go.
I just wanted to bring up, so we are going to be starting our first day of classes November 23rd. So that gives us 2 weekends. So next week will be the last week of the instructor mock teaching sessions, and then, which is the 14th, and then the 21st, we will have something else, basically prepping we'll have orientation and just prepping for the first day of classes that Monday, the 23rd. So just want you guys to be aware of that. And so for next week, we're going to be reaching out to the instructors who have their courses ready early so that they can prepare for the mock teaching session. Just keeping in mind that these mock teaching sessions are very important, not only just for you to get the feedback, but just good practice for you as you prepare for your sessions, your live sessions, your real sessions when you're teaching. So definitely utilize this opportunity that you have. You can, you know, make your mistakes here and get the vital feedback so that when you do teach, you know, you'll be at your best. We strive to make sure all of these instructor workshops, you're learning and new things, and you're able to implement this not only in your courses that you're teaching, but also in your day-to-day lives. You can apply it to that. Sorry, I'm just reading. So yes, please ask any questions while we have the free time about anything in particular so that we can, you know, address your needs and concerns. So Hani said that she meant in Africa, for example, some people never touch a computer. I think we said we were targeting anyone who wants to have practical knowledge. An example is the use of internet. Some people have never touched a computer and would like to learn how to start a computer, to log in, to know how to use WhatsApp, create an account, check emails, etc. People who are illiterate in computer use and want to learn something particular they would be interested in. Okay, so you're talking about the not basic of computer science, but basic of just, I don't know, using the computer.
So that,
rudimentary computer
yeah,
use, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So basically, there's also another course which is I don't remember how I named it, but it's like introduction to Windows or something. But that's something that basically teaches you, hey, press the power button. This is where the keyboard is. This is where this is. These are the parts of the, of course, parts of computer we will talk about in this particular course. But in practical terms, I think the first thing is, hey, go get a computer, even if it's 15,000 or 20,000 naira. Just go get a computer. It doesn't need to do all the nice work. As long as it comes on and shows you something in any Windows, you can start from there. But after a while, maybe you need to do away with that. But with that, um, because I also had a computer training institute while I was in Sokoto back in Nigeria, so which was registered under corporate affairs. And there I trained about 35 students, which had a valid certificate. And basically, these are the kind of questions I get. And they were corpus or people from other universities who never touched computer, who never knew how they were. They came and I said, okay, this is a certification program that you first of all need to do introduction to Windows, which means you need to know the parts of the computer, what a mouse looks like, where to click, where to right click, how to connect this. And when you do that, when you power it on, this is what you should expect. And when you're at this phase, then you need to start looking for which application or program you want to run. MS Word, Excel, and that. And then there is a different program for Word and Excel that teaches you how to basically use those things. So yes, all these are part of this, but the basics of computer just gives you a brief introduction, but then you are now aware that, oh, what are now the things that I need to. So if someone says, back home, if I learn MS Word, Excel, and this number of things, I can get a job in 3 months after learning that. Do I have a number of courses there? There is a particular certification, which is our certification 8 in computer science department that offers that. And that's where you learn those basics and you know what they look like. And you can learn at least 2 programs which you can use on the fly, either by going to work with them or using them in the university when you're in school and to do your projects. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, she said that does answer the question.
Okay.
So even like 2 weeks from now in the orientation, each OGA will be presenting, a portion of what their Malakongo structure is going to look like in the orientation, so that people who are students, and not just students, but you, Malamis, would get to understand, the different components of what we are trying to accomplish with the schools. So they've developed, what different courses and certifications are going to be available. And especially that doesn't necessarily mean that we have everyone who will be teaching yet. So if there is something that you see that you would also like to work on, if you see a course 2 weeks from now when they present it, that you're interested in teaching, reach out to that OGA in charge of that Malakongo and let them know that you're interested in doing that as we expand and grow and have more courses available. So, yeah.
One proposal, Janisha.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they can let their orgas know, but maybe another way is if they also have my contact
Mm-hmm.
and some kind of organizing or helping in organizing this, please, you can also send directly to me that you would like to partake in this, and because I will have a list of all the Malamai and just to see who have presented and who is yet to go. And of course, like I said last week, you can go more than once if you like. It depends if you have a new topic or something completely new. And then I can take that into account as well, together and in discussion with your own OGA to be sure that he's also aware.
Okay. We have someone who would like to present. Dr. Ikechi Abuba would like to present his course. So if you want to show your video.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everyone. Can I share my slides?
Yeah, you can share. Yep, I can see
Okay.
you. You can share your screen if you have something.
Okay, yeah, my. Um, yeah, I guess it's fully shared now.
Yes, I can see the screen. You can go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So I'll start by showing them the course details, which is already noted, and then a brief introduction of me and my career goal in line with business marketing. Yes, I know a lot of people have an idea of what marketing is, but it's not just marketing now, but business marketing. So it's since business is added to it, so it's just about how to um, um, make your business that your product um, that you've come up with. Maybe you have a company, maybe you have an enterprise, maybe you have an industry that is engaged with producing a product, or maybe you don't even have an industry, maybe you don't have any of that. So you can now assume as if you have, maybe in the future, or possibly you may even have an agribusiness, like so you have to um, target it towards marketing. So now the learning outcomes, they're already there. At the end of the course, you should be able to conduct the necessary research required for segmentation, because already Well, I'll still get to my table, which is like a breakdown of the modules into the 4 weeks, and the okay, maybe I should get to the module section. Okay, yeah, the first module is already highlighting the case studies, the takeaways, and the key exercises, which in line with market segmentation, which is the first point that I streamline the course. Then the second is targeting. The third module is positioning, and the fourth module is branding. Now, before I could get into all of this, you know, I have to ask my students what they understand by marketing, and then we can now, you know, talk about business and marketing, and then how to segment markets. What do we do when we segment markets? And how do we segment markets? There are ways of segmenting market. There are procedures of segmenting markets. It could be demographically, it could be geographically, and it could be even psychographically. You know, they are in the course content already. And the takeaways will be to establish the basis for market segmentation, because I had already assumed that because it's the nature of the course is, you know, is quite interesting. Lots of organizations are either engaged in produce or product marketing or even service marketing. Whatever that you are doing is aiming at marketing. That is the end user. What will the end user take home with? So now, and it's all about the product and the service, or the service. So now, how do you now target market? What comes in? So we need to understand the 5 types of targeting. We need to, they also need to learn how to target in, in right segmentally. Then also key exercises, they have to choose a targeting strategy. They can be able, maybe use their initiative after the material, because I also provided them with links online and yes, online, because they are all there. Some YouTube sites that they can listen to get their understanding driven home. So then the last is positioning. Okay, I didn't mention about Unilever and like the case studies. I know these are known companies or industries and outfits that have products that they market and they have done well. Some have their success stories, some have also where they did not do well, like looking at like a SWOT analysis, the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats that they have also been able to come up with. We can then, positioning is a very powerful, or rather very important point of marketing, because it has to do with trying to make your customers becoming have like a bonding, emotional bonding to your product or service. Why is it that some people agree to going for this type of exercise or stationery or this type of product, like the Apple product, as you know, rightly outlined, and other products or service? Even in the aviation industry, there are also people who have preference for this and that service. Then for the branding, of course, should understand that branding has to do with identity and maintaining identity. How can a product with branding, like for example, the case study that is outlined here is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, most of the countries of the world, you see that Coca-Cola is excelling. So what is their strategy? What strategy have they used? So like in takeaway, summarizing the importance of brands and how it applies to everything, describing the main branding challenges and opportunities, understanding 4 steps to building a brand. Then the key exercising, logo comes in because your logo is your identity. Then to okay. Now also because of time I have to rush up. Week 1
Yeah,
introduction. The proverbs are already there, and
Kechi, Doc.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think basically 2 more minutes, but just see how you wrap it up nicely.
Yeah. So before that, so these are the main assignments for the first or second module. Sorry, this is the link. Okay, no, this is second module for targeting. Yeah, some proverbs are already there for to help them also understand. Best things come to those who plan. An intelligent enemy is better than a stupid friend. Reflections. Why do you prefer to be around some of your friends and not others? You know, these are reflective statements that also will give them a very good take home of the meaning of business marketing. Production is not complete except it gets to the final consumer. And before it gets to the final consumer, what happens is just about marketing. And we need to put in, especially in Africa, African countries are supposed to adopt this mentality of putting in the enthusiasm, being assiduous when it comes to their businesses and how they develop. So the reading materials are already here, and yeah. Yeah. So this is the third module, positioning, and then yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
the final module. Yeah, good advertisement kills a bad product faster. If you do not have patience, you cannot make beer. Reflections. Think of a time you took a decision in a haste. What was the outcome of the decision? Are there always something new to learn in places like markets, homes, and schools? Explain. Yeah. So, thank you.
Yeah. So maybe just one final question because of time. So let's say someone comes to my department. I teach him how to operate a computer, how to work with MS Word, and how to maybe troubleshoot and install something. Do I send him to your course to know how to use that knowledge to immediately create a business?
Sorry, can you say the last statement again?
Yeah, so do I send that person who just finished learning computer training and has the knowledge of Word and has a computer, so to your course to be able to set up a business and market it wisely?
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Of course, he will, or he or she will have to, my course will give him or her the idea on how to, segment, like I said, segment the market. First of all, the need assessment with respect to the type of computing, maybe computing business, because we have different aspects of computing business, like, those accessory, those that deal on accessory. And also, they have to segment their markets. Also, the targets, who are they targeting? Because you need to know who you are targeting in order to know how to also prepare that product or service in such a way to, let me use the word, entice them, to make them emotionally attached. And that is now positioning. Because when you get to positioning, that is when you want to get to the point of having loyalty from your customers at that point. Then also remember that branding comes in, like I had mentioned about the 4 P's of marketing mix, which is just the 4 P's: the product, the pricing, the place, and then the promotion. That is promotional activities that are involved in marketing.
Okay. Yeah.
Product.
So
Thank
I
you.
think maybe because of time, so I will leave it up to Janisha if there's any announcement or something. But I think I would probably like to have you back, Dr. Keki, because there probably would be more practical questions on your part. Because of
Definitely,
Yes,
definitely.
I agree. I agree. Can I just quickly make a comment? I know Hani has to leave. I want to thank both of you for giving us these presentations. Let me encourage everyone to push themselves to try something unique. So, Dr. Ezeh, the case study you used was very simple, but it was so effective. I think, Dr. Abuba, you gave us a lot of content. I mean, you are loaded with information, many slides. I would suggest when you come back next time, just pick one thing from that and maybe use a case. I mean, you did show a case somewhere. Use a case or maybe ask some questions about something. I'm saying this so that if you can make the students engage, that's going to be very powerful. Like for me, I was chilling like this. The moment Dr. Ezeh put up a case, he said, you're going to read this case and I'm going to put you into it. I'm like, okay, I need to pay attention. All of a sudden I paid attention because I know I have to work my brains. So I think I will take just a few things from what you've, I mean, again, you are loaded with information. Just take one or two things, maybe a story, maybe a case, and we don't even have to do a breakout. But the breakout is kind of cool because it forces you to have a discussion in a small group. To try that. We could try like a poll or something, but we can talk about that after this. But I appreciate your representation with the information that you gave, and I would love to have you actually come back and do it again. So thank you, and thank you to Dr. Ezeh too for that. Dr. Ezeh, I was going to ask you this. For me, I would suggest to all of us to use African names. I know you use John and Mary. I don't have anything against John and Mary. I don't. But my first name, my legal first name is John. Most of you don't even know.
There you are.
But since we want Africans to see themselves, let's
Maybe you need to
consider
suggest the
African
names.
names. No matter how long, even the most longest ones, let's use those just so Africans can see themselves using computers and in marketing. So that's all. Thank you.
All right.
Yes,
So
I don't have anything to add.
all right. So I think that's the end. By the way, with that comment, Prof, I think I will change the name Fred, which is English, to my. Thanks for reminding me that. I will do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. That was all, everyone. Thank you for your time, and hope to see you again next Saturday.
See you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.